giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on YouTube. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker. Still, boom! Coming up, ladies and gentlemen, we got to turn that page. Cowboys, Eagles. It's not going to look the same. It's not going to look like what we want it to look like. But I'll be damned if you're not going to win another game against another team. Beat this team, man. We're going to break down this Eagles defense. New look defense. Newly improved defense. I'm going to tell you why. Y'all know why, but I'm going to tell you why as we break this thing down a little bit later. Plus, of course, we have the big news injury update on Dak Prescott we'll get to in the roundup, as well as the first injury report for the week, which, again, is it's like every week, man. It's something, but it's not a positive injury report. Granted, it's Wednesday. We can see what happens today and tomorrow, but it looks like the Cowboys obviously will go out there shorthanded offensively, but they may still be going out there shorthanded on the defense side of the ball. So we'll keep an eye out on all of that. But what's up with your bomb squad?
Bomb squad!
How we doing? He said Kellen licking his chops. I'm boy. Me and Jerry was Jerry. Whew, I wasn't joking. Nothing with Jerry. Jesse. Me and Jesse were joking around about that in the post-game show. But yeah, it's not a joke no more as you get ready to break it all down. Tomorrow, I'll be looking at their offense, but today I wanted to start with their defense because you guys know, or at least those who have been around know how fond I am of one Vic Fangio. But we'll dive into it a little bit more, man. All right, let's go ahead though. It's just me today. It's just me today. I figured let me go ahead and just get through the defense today. Tomorrow, obviously, we'll probably have Pat on, so it won't just be me tomorrow. But easy show. I mean, maybe we'll get some calls in if you want to call in 351-999-3787. But I really want to hit, this quarterback situation now with the Cowboys, and then the quarterback situation versus this Eagles defense this week. Let's get to the roundup, though.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
Time.
It's time!
Time?
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
Let's start off with the injury report. It's a lengthy one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players on the injury report. Man, what a season. I'll just go from top to bottom here and obviously save Dak for last. So, Deron Bland is still not practicing. I get it's Wednesday. Maybe he's there today and tomorrow, but I mean, if he's not practicing today in any capacity, I don't feel like he's going to play again. What the hell is going on with Deron Bland's foot, man? It's sounding like maybe, I mean, look, again, I'm no doctor, but we're going to have Doc on Monday. It sounded like maybe he should have opted for surgery, or did he already get surgery? I don't know. But something that happened in August, and we were told maybe after the Steelers game is now dragging potentially into late November. It's not good, Bob. Kalen Carson, he's on here because of the shoulder, but he participated in full. Let's get to the full. Linval Joseph, he was full with the back. But let's be real. And look, I didn't even break down the defense from last week. But, boy, if you go watch Linval Joseph and Mozzie Smith, particularly Mozzie Smith, it was another embarrassing performance from the defensive tackles. I mean, Mozzie Smith. Look, that one game, I don't think did enough. That Giants game wasn't enough. This thing might be over, folks. Real quick joke, not a joke, but Connor on Twitter. I mean, this is real. You know how the Cowboys trade for like Mingo and these guys that were high draft picks flamed out with their team and they give up, draft picks for their team or for that player? Connor said, by the Cowboys' logic, they would have traded a second round pick for this version of Mozzie Smith on another team. It's so true. It's so true and it's so sad. They would have said, we need a defensive tackle. It's not working out over there with that other team. He was a first round pick. Let's go give them a second or third round pick and say, hey, he was a first round pick though. God. You gotta laugh through the tears, man. But it was bad for Mozzie. I was texting Vosh like, dog, man, I lost count how many times I saw this man on the ground and getting ragdolled. It was just bad. Oh, man, it was bad. Anyway, Trayvon Diggs, limited with the calf. Again, that concerns me watching him in the game. He was coming up limp sometimes, whatever, though. Tyler Guyton, neck, shoulder. He was limited. Remember, he left the game and returned. Eric Kendricks did not practice. It's clear he's playing. All these guys are playing banged up, but it's clear when you watch Eric Kendricks, not that he's playing bad, but there's times you watch him and he falls on that shoulder and he's wincing and he's getting up and he's shaking it off. So he's playing out there with half a shoulder. CeeDee Lamb, he was limited. We know he's dealing with the AC joint sprain, so that's something we're going to have to watch. I know they're going to shoot him up with some good meds probably for the rest of the year, but we're dealing with some. He's going to be dealing with that for the rest of the season. So I'm going to say. Zach Martin did not practice, and this wasn't a rest day. He's dealing with a shoulder. Wanye Thomas did not practice. Concussion. So he may, if it's a severe enough concussion, he may not play at all. Nick Vigil did not practice as well with the foot. Haven't seen Nick Vigil, I don't believe, right? For a little bit. Or was he out there the other day? I think he might have been out there. And then Michael Parsons returned to practice in a limited fashion. We'll see how the rest of the week goes, but this week feels like the week for Micah to be out there. Professor, I just happened to look over there. So we'll see though. There's no yes or no answer on this. It sounds like he wants to play. Sounds like he's going to try to play. And he said if he does, he's not going to hold back. So I mean, he shouldn't. You can get hurt playing that way. But if he is out there on the half an ankle, he's going to be out there as if it's a full ankle. But he's limited. We'll see what happens today. And then obviously the big one, Dak Prescott, who, in my opinion, he probably shouldn't even be on this thing today or tomorrow. We'll see. Jane Slater dropped kind of the bomb yesterday during the day. She says, quote, as the Cowboys weigh in on Dak Prescott's IR status, sources tell me the initial diagnosis is a partial avulsion of his hamstring tendon, which is partially torn off the bone. I'm told it typically takes more than a 4-week recovery. In some cases, they let it scar over, repair, and then strengthen it. With that being said, Prescott is seeking other opinions, which is why there is currently a reluctance to place him on IR or make any other determinations about a timeline for return. Let's be real here. This feels like very much a season-ending injury, and this is just Dak trying his damnness to grasp at any hope to return. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, this is just me speaking. I'm not reporting anything, but this is looking like a season-ending injury. Tyron Smith had a similar injury. His was a full tear, and that kept him out for most of the 2022 season, if you guys remember. This is a partial tear, but it is off the bone. there's no look. There's 9 weeks left of the season for your Cowboys. There's no playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And even if say, oh well, he can return with 2-3 weeks left in the season. The nine times out of 10, you're 9.9999 times out of 10, you're done. You're not in the playoff picture. Get the surgery, Dak. Heal up. Hopefully, the front office does something in the offseason. And you try to run this thing back next year and see what we got. But I don't. Now, again, I'm not the player. I'm just speaking as a fan. Because as a player, you're going to try to do everything you can to try to get back out there. James Jones. What an embarrassment, by the way. I mean, I'm not going to give them air, but what an embarrassment. That entire panel, except Chase. Anyway, we'll probably know more, I'd imagine, by Friday. There are already talks behind the scenes, but some things you just can't report just quite yet until Dak goes through what he needs to go through with the medical. He's trying to get a second evaluation and get out there. But this feels to me like a season-ending injury. Don't really see a need for him to try to, for them, let me say this, for them to not put him on IR, this is silly to me. Just throw him on IR right now. If he can come back and come back, sure, but he ain't coming back within 4 weeks. Stuff like this is frustrating. Same thing happened a few years ago, and their reasoning to why they kept him off of IR, remember in 2022, was because they wanted him to be around, et cetera, et cetera. I get it, but it cost you one of your players. You could have IR Dak and you could have kept Big Country. Now, this year, a bit different. It's not anybody you really care to keep, I think, at this point like that. But IR him, get the surgery, Dak, heal up. We'll see you next year. That's what I'm hoping happens. Really don't see any other reasoning to do anything else. With that said, the Cowboys are going to turn to their veteran quarterback, Cooper Rush, and their 4th round investment, Trey Lance. It sounds like, listening to Mike McCarthy, very adamant here on Cooper Rush. Mike always sounds just annoyed sometimes, right? Now he did praise Trey Lance with working hard and where he's come and having to work on, having to go from a certain offense and working on his footwork and reads, et cetera, et cetera. But he seemed pretty damn adamant that not only is Cooper Rush getting the first crack, Cooper Rush is getting majority. Like, he's going to be the quarterback. This isn't going to be some razzle dazzle, throw in Trey Lance here and there, kind of what we were talking about yesterday. I would like some razzle dazzle, given what this team looks like. I think you're going to need some razzle dazzle. I think it'd be pretty wise to utilize Trey Lance. Hell, at this point with Dak being out for the season, just throw the young man in there. But they're not doing that, so there's no need for me to go crazy on that right there. They're going out with Rush to start with. And again, this is no knock on Rush. I think Cooper Rush is a very capable backup, smart quarterback, decisive quarterback. He's going to do what Cooper Rush does, right? Get in there and just try to run the offense as best as he can. And we're going to hear from Shotty here in a second. But they're confident in him. They're confident in his experience. He's been here before, and he knows the offense like the back of his hand because he's been with the Cowboys for his whole entire career, right? This is Coach Schottenheimer on all of that with Cooper Rush.
I think everybody around here has a good feel for, Coop and really all the guys. And, we'll put together a hell of a plan. I think you saw what Coop was able to do yesterday. The guy understands the scheme as well as anybody. Maybe one of the smartest, QBs I've ever been around, just in terms of not just the understanding the X's and the O's, but the application of it. Just even sitting over there talking to him when Dak's playing, he sees the field really, really well, even from the sidelines. And so I think, what he did yesterday was not a surprise, going out there and moving the team and getting us in the end zone and potentially giving us a chance. And, we feel good about, where he's at with the system and what he knows. And will there be some changes? Might be. But again, we're still early in the prep for Philadelphia.
I caught you. Shotty. Huh, really? I think the coaches are playing a little gamesmanship. I think obviously there'll be changes to some of the offense. Not when Cooper is out there, some of the offense, not the whole offense, but some of the offense. Trey, I think it'd be a lot of the offense. But listening to Shoddy say that and listening to how McCarthy's like, oh yeah, this is going to be Rush's thing. I think there's more gamesmanship from them, as they should, because their boss, Jerry Wayne Jones, already came out and said, oh, no. We finna get a little razzle-dazzle with Trey Lance. 4th round pick we spent on that young man. And now it's time to reap the benefits of that, if there are any, right? So part of me believes, because Jerry does go in there and say this XYZ needs to happen, that we will see Trey. But then you got the coaches who are like, yeah, Trey is getting better in the room. He's getting more confident. He's a hard worker and everything. They're not really saying much about using him. So at the very least this week, we know for sure it's going to be mostly Cooper Rush. But it'd be wise to mix it up. But I get it. I get why the Rush. He's proven himself in years past to be a guy to keep things afloat. Per Next Gen Stats, which we know a lot of this if you actually follow the Cowboys and watch, Rush went 4-1 as a starter for an injured Dak Prescott in 2022. However, the Cowboys allowed 15.8 points per game in his 5 starts in 2022. They've allowed 28.1 points per game this season, the second most in the NFL, only behind the lowly Carolina Panthers. So, poor Rush, because those 2 seasons when Rush had to start, right, 21-22, the team was completely different. Completely different. Not only was the defense holding teams to 15 points per game, they were also sacking the quarterback at an alarming rate. 22 sacks in his 5 starts. I don't even think the Cowboys have 20 sacks this year. Cowboys are not getting to the quarterback. They also play complementary football, right? Defense, not allowing teams to score. Offense, controlling the clock and running the ball. The Cowboys offense ran for 642 yards in those 5 starts. All jokes aside, do the Cowboys even have 642 rushing yards right now? This is all jokes aside. Let me go see real quick. Yo, that's crazy. The Cowboys have 656 rush yards. And that's including wide receivers and quarterbacks. They probably have less than 600 yards from their running backs. Wow. So this is all the reason why I'm for the razzle dazzle. I get the coaches don't want to say anything. This could be gamesmanship. But you need to throw Trey Lance out there with Cooper Rush. You're talking about a team who's the worst rushing team in the league, the worst red zone offense in the league. If you want an easy button, that man will give you an easy button. Just mix it up. I mean, what do you have to lose, man? And I know, I get it. Yeah, probably not winning these games. You're getting the top pick, whatever. But I told y'all, I'm never rooting to lose. Number one. Number two, I damn sure will never, ever root for the Cowboys to lose to the Eagles. So you might say it's a waste of time, me trying to find ways to find some type of juice for this offense. Sure, that's cool. But I hate this Philadelphia Eagles team with a passion. I don't hate anything in life but the Eagles. So excuse me for trying to find ways to sneak one. And I think this is a way you can sneak some type of juice into your offense, which has been lifeless really for majority of the season. So help a brother out. Help Cooper Rush out. Because he's going to need it. This is an Eagles defense that is not the defense of last year. Not even really the defense that was it 2021 where they came in a really good defense and Dak diced them up at the crib on the way to a shootout, right? Was that the T.Y. Hilton game? Nope. This is a different defense because of one man. And let's break it down.
Break it down.
Vic Fangio. Now, there are not a lot of people in here today, and as expected, the way the season's playing out, I understand how this game works. But there are a lot of people in here that have been around. And for those that have followed the league closely, or at least followed me closely, you know how respected Vic Fangio is from a defensive mind standpoint. You know how much I respect him as a defensive coordinator. If you remember, as soon as that game was over in Green Bay and the reports came out that Vic was departing from Miami, he was number one on my defensive coordinator want list. Unfortunately, he's from the Philadelphia area, the PA area, I should say. He was with Philly the previous year, and they snatched him up right away. They hired him before we even got out of January. Now, Vic Fangio is not I would not consider him a player's coach, right? He doesn't get along with the players, but everywhere he's been, he's improved that defense. Like if you go look at it over the last decade, everywhere he's been, that defense has improved right away. In 2014, the Bears with a 31st ranked scoring defense. Enter Vic Fangio the next year, they went up to 20th. In 2017, the Broncos ranked 22nd in scoring defense. Enter Vic Fangio, they went up to 13th. In 2021, the Eagles had the 18th ranked scoring defense. Vic Fangio joined them in 2022 as a consultant, 8th. And they were the number one passing defense. The Dolphins in 2022 were the 30th ranked team in turnovers and had a bottom 5 pass defense. Vic Fangio got there in 2023, 8th in turnovers, 15th in pass defense. Last year, the Eagles were a horrendous defense. They were 30th in scoring defense. Here comes Vic Fangio. They're 9th. Oh, and they're 3rd in total yards. So they're not letting you score a lot, and they're also not letting you move the ball a lot. Vic Fangio, the real deal, man. And I know the way we know him is from the blueprint game in with the Broncos in Denver, but it's beyond that. It's so far beyond that, and he's exactly why he was number one on my list. He's taking one of the worst defenses last year, and they're pretty much top 10 across the board. And he's starting to get some life out of them Georgia boys, right? You know Jalen Carter was already like that. Nolan Smith is showing improvement. Kobe Dean is looking like a guy. Dude, he turned Zach Bond into a Pro Bowl type of linebacker right now. That's not a knock on Zach Bond. I like Zach Bond coming out, but the Saints, they weren't even using him in New Orleans. Then they drafted those 2 rookie cornerbacks, right? Kenyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, back to back, and they're starting to pay dividends. And that right there really did surprise me. I've always been a believer in Vic's scheme. I've always been a believer in his principles, and you see the league adopting a lot of the Fangio 6. But I was really skeptical about the Eagles' defense adjusting this fast, right? Because you got those young bucks back there. And you do have a few veterans. They signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. Slay is out there, even though Slay's not the same guy, in my opinion. Blankenship he's still young-ish, but he's a young veteran now in his third year, and you got the two rookies. The reason why I'm shocked how fast they're getting this defense is because it's a complicated defense, and he's always leaned on veterans. And sometimes those veterans didn't even like the defense because of how complex and complicated it is. But if you can get it down, it is a tough, defense to just score on, move up and down on. If you really can get it down and you have the players, and he's shown that everywhere he's been, San Francisco, Denver, Chicago, and here now in Philly. And they call it the Fangio 6 for a reason. This is a guy that likes to play a lot of the too high, almost out of every single snap. So that means you're going to get a lot of light boxes. Put a pin in that. A lot of cover 4 and obviously cover 6, hence why they call it that. But that cover 6 is a lot of the times geared towards your number one wide receiver. So you're looking at a team like the Cowboys that has one real weapon at wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. So the Cowboys are going to have to do one or two things. Either they're going to have to move CeeDee Lamb around in this game strategically, right? Because you want to avoid all the double teams and the brackets and whatnot. So you got to move him around. Or these other guys are just going to have to flat out step up if he's going to be stationary on the boundary. And last year, I went back and I tweeted this. I watched the Miami game. Y'all remember the Miami game? Vic Fangio was the defense. Cowboys, I think they scored 20 points in that game. So it wasn't an easy game. It was a tough game, but early on in that game, CeeDee Lamb was going off. CeeDee Lamb had like 80 yards in the first quarter, had the long touchdown. All right, he was getting busy, and I remembered we were complaining about his lack of activity after that. So I said, let me go back and see what the hell happened. So I'm watching the game and I'm like, okay, what was the difference between the first quarter and the rest of the game? The first quarter, CeeDee Lamb was moved around. He was in motion. He did jet motion, orbit type motion. He was in the backfield. I think got a handoff. Either if he wasn't in motion, somebody else was. He was in slot. He was stacked. He was bunched. There was a strategic effort in utilizing him in different ways because you knew going up against Fangio, you can't just sit him out on the boundary or just sit him in the slot and do nothing and hope like hell he can beat double teams or brackets or the zone. You had to move him around. So I'm like, okay, this is great. So what happened after that? What happened in quarters 2, 3, and 4? They quite literally did the opposite. They stopped moving him around. They stopped stacking. They stopped bunching. He was stationary, whether it be on the boundary or whether it had been in the slot. And I was just like, why? Why? Even in the fourth quarter where the Dak drove him down to get the go-ahead touchdown, he caught a couple passes, but it wasn't like it was from those similar formations. It was just like, hey man, came on the line. I just got to get this thing to him. So I'm pretty sure Mike is going to go back, look at the game against Fangio's defense and see, well, how did we use CD? Because that's all we got right now, right? How did we use CD in that game? Hopefully, he sees how they did in the first quarter and they do that throughout this game. Because there's no way I think you can just sit him out on the boundary or the slot. Don't move him around. Don't get creative and expect him to tee off with a backup quarterback, with a hurt shoulder. Yeah, all right. Okay. You can do that if you want. Either way, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be a tough matchup for Rush and them boys. The only team really to have success through the air after week 1 was the Bucs. And stop me if you heard this before because you watch this channel a lot. Offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen. He's kind of my new pet cat offensive coordinator. He comes from obviously that tree. And man, he's really good. Liam Cohen is good at his job. I remember watching that game live actually. And I think I tweeted out, during that time period, I was like, Liam Cohen is starting to be one of those scripted first 15 masterminds. He put on a master class in his scripted plays. He had the Eagles in a blender. And it wasn't like, okay, so it wasn't like it was, or we're popping off these big plays downfield. The way they did it is they schemed up the profit. Yeah, they schemed up the profit. You often hear that now, right? That's kind of the buzzword over the last few years, especially with teams playing a lot of umbrella coverages, shell coverages. Hey, just take what the defense gives you, right? Take the profit. Well, now coordinators, because the league is changing in the sense that teams are playing so much too high and umbrella, you have to find ways to not only just take the profit, but scheme that up so that a 3-yard out turns into 10, a 6-yard out turns into 12. A pass in the line of scrimmage gets you is like a long handoff. That's exactly what Liam Cohen did in that Bucs game, and it was bing, 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 right down the field. Oh, it was right down the field. I don't think McCarthy's that good to do that, but we did see what happened in the Steelers game, and you hope that can happen. So again, what I mean by scheming up the profit, it wasn't like drop back. Okay, 1, 2, 3 is not here. Check it down. That's not what happened. This was deliberate motion to get one way, and we're throwing purposefully to the running back. He's my first or second read. This was motion with Godwin, and he's now doing a quick out 5 yards, turns upfield, gets 8. I don't even know if they ran the ball the first 2 possessions. Now they might have did a delay, a couple, but it was a lot of bink, 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 quick, get down to the red zone. He scored. That was really the last time you saw an offense kind of throw the ball on these dudes all game long. They really didn't have a problem. They ended up getting up 24-0, and that was pretty much it, right? That was over. Do you trust Mike McCarthy to be able to do that? Come out with scripted plays? And I don't. But I will say this, if they do, I don't think, Cooper Rush is going to not take the profit. Shotty said something about Rush. He said he's comfortable with who he is, right? He knows I'm not the guy that has the strongest arm. I'm not the guy that has this uber talent. I'm the guy that's going to take what's given. And from time to time, Cooper Rush is going to take a chance. Definitely when he's backed into a corner and you have to take a chance, he'll take a chance, but he understands who he is. So, and he's smart. So if they scheme up the profit and it's not overly complicated, you can get some of these cheap yards to move down the field. My concern is if they do, when you get to the red zone, we've been the worst red zone team. And that's where I would like to enter Trey Lance. But this is not going to be easy. This is a tough defense. This is a well-coached defense. They're starting to get it together. They're communicating very well and passing things off, which is impressive because they got 2 young guys out there. I was annoyed watching this film because I'm like, man, I was expecting them to struggle a little bit longer than this, but we are in week 9, 10, whatever it is of the season. So I guess it's about that time, to start clicking. But early on in the season, there were struggles on the ground. I thought for sure these boys are going to have struggles stopping the run because I believe it was the Packers and the Falcons teed off on them boys, 130 and 150 rush yards. Like, here we go. Philly about to have another terrible defense. Yeah, they haven't allowed a single 100-yard rusher since. They've allowed one team to rush for over 100 yards, and that was the Bucs in week 4, 101. The last 3 weeks, they've allowed 46 yards per game. 2 running backs, that is. And you know the Cowboys' rushing offense has been terrible. Now, Jerry did come out and say that Zeke would be back. And whatever, right? We understand what's going on there. That's politics. That's Jerry Jones. But we've seen multiple times now this year, the best back on this team is Rico Dowdle. From the rip, we talked about it, but even more so in the pass game, right? That's something we brought up a whole lot in the offseason. Like Rico out the backfield, throwing the ball to the back. He's the best guy you got. And the reason why I bring that up is because if you go, again, watch the Bucs and how they matriculated down the field and how teams can, is getting the ball out to these guys and letting them get busy with the Eagles playing so much soft coverage. And Rico did a fantastic job last week doing that. The Falcons don't play a Fangio 6, but they do play a lot of that zone soft coverage. And the Cowboys schemed up that type, right? They were getting the ball out quick, get it to your running backs. Out the backfield, some of those went down as runs, but, swing passes, whatever. And Rico was making them pay. So I would go back to that well. Get Rico involved in the pass game. Obviously, find those run plays that work. Y'all know how I feel. We broke this down weeks ago. You only got a handful of them, but find them and just run them to death. Now, is that going to be easy? No. It's not going to be easy. The Eagles are, again, it's tough to run on these boys right now. It's tough to throw on them, too. They're 9th in the NFL in quarterback rating allowed. They've only given up 8 touchdown passes. And they're 7th in yards. So nothing about this is going to be easy if McCarthy tries to play straight up. Nothing about this is going to be easy if McCarthy doesn't remain creative. I don't want to see you come out in the first 6-7 plays. We're like, oh, okay, here we go. Move in the pocket. We got some at snap. We got some orbit. And then poof, gone. Because that may be too much for him, Now we get back to spread it out wide, a whole bunch of depth, nothing but comebacks and slants, and you run one go over here, and there's a bunch of stick routes here. Like, that ain't. These are your quarter. Oh, man. So, McCarthy didn't do much to help out when you had Dak in there. You have to help these dudes out. You have to. And I'll just leave it at that. That's all I got for you, man. As you can tell, when studying this exact matchup, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. Guru said he was amazed with the Bucs scheme. We really need that here, brother. Liam Cohen is for real, man. He good. He really good. They use 3 running backs. See, so when we talk about committee, remember what I said? If you're going to use a committee, you have to have complementary pieces in that committee, or you have to know how to use those guys that you do have. The Bucs know how. The Bucs absolutely know how to use those dudes. And they do it. Me personally, I prefer the tandem approach. But if you do a committee, it's not impossible. The Bucs are showing you that right now. Yeah, he liked that, man. Professor O said, and Vic has our number. He does. He does. Now, again, last year, so frustrating that game last year because you fumble on the 1 yard line, right? That was the game where old boy was just having brain farts. Chuma Doga. Your defense plays his ass off for most of the game. The Cowboys go get the score to go ahead. You just say, hey, defense, I need you one more time here. But they get ran over down the field for the game-losing field goal. It's just a frustrating game. But there were moments in that game. The Broncos game, no. Not at all. But there were moments in that Miami game where it's like, okay, yes, we knew this was going to be a tough one, but you showed you can move the ball. That was with Dak at quarterback. This is going to be different. It's going to be Cooper at quarterback, but It's going to take way more creativity, and I'm sounding like a broken record, but that's just the facts of the matter, man. It's the facts of the matter. Guru said, the Bucks have an effective run game and a run D scheme and a defensive run scheme without a star running back. A run scheme without a star running back. Yeah. I mean, Cohen, the Cohens, the Zach Robinsons, the Ben Johnsons, the slow, like these guys, their offense isn't just, we're just a high flying pat. No, it's married and tied with the run game. Yeah. Very creative. Go look at Liam Cohen's run game. It's cool. That's all I can say. LaFleur, that's another guy. Andy Reid, that's another guy. All these guys tie those things together. Dallas, it doesn't look like these things have been tied together for a long time. Tino said Barkley about to hit the. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow, but man, I'm not ready to watch that film either. Like I already know what that's about, but it is what it is, right? O said Guyton's on pace for 27 penalties. 9 sacks and 43 pressures allowed. He said great pick. We wasn't wrong on Tyler Guyton. I don't do the whole, I don't like to do that, but we wasn't wrong. Vach often hits me up just randomly after watching the film or doing a game. We wasn't wrong on Tyler Guyton. We wasn't. I cautioned patience. I cautioned 2025, right? That's where it was at, but damn. 27 penalties is crazy. Arlington says, I would play Lance, make a decision. Yeah, I would just throw the young man out there, man. And look, this is selfish as well of me because Cooper Rush will go out there. He's going to drop back. He's going to play the quarterback position like it's supposed to be played in this offense. But I just know Trey Lance is going to be more fun to watch given what's going on right now. Oh, and yeah, I'm a little bit manical or cynical here. The fun is both good and bad. He's probably going to throw some crazy picks, but he's going to make some crazy plays with his arm and his legs too. And if we're going to go out, man, go out with a little bang. That's all I'm saying. We're going to go out with a little bang. Now, if we are legitimately trying to win, which I don't believe this organization is, I don't trust them, then like I said yesterday, I would use a combination of both. I would use a combination of both of them dudes. Duke can't fix everything. No, Duke can't. And I saw somebody trying to come at Duke about stuff. Let's circle this back around to Solari. Don't blame Duke. Let's circle it back to Solari. I don't know how many times all year, if you watch the rest of the league or if you watch film on the rest of the league, I see a team and I'm like, this offensive line ain't got a bunch of great players up here. Oh, scheme. Coaching. That stuff matters, man. I'm not saying Guyton and BB with a different scheme or coach are going to be all pros or pro bowlers, but I'm pretty sure they'd be better, right? I'm pretty sure. Zach Martin's dealing with an injury, Terrence, when he goes up against these dudes, it's tough, but even Tyler Smith has taken a step back. No, we're not talking about it because he's the best guy we got, but he hasn't been the same dominant guy. When they all look like that, I got to look at the coaching, man. Edwin says, I don't trust this organization to win on trying to win either. Yeah, it's one of those situations where they're just flying by the seat of their pants, right? Is that the saying? Y'all know I'll be bad with these sayings. Fool me once, you can't fool me again. I'm like George Bush with these sayings. They just do stuff. Professor O brought up the 4th round pick. They just do stuff. I went on my rant yesterday. I don't need to revisit it. If you truly were trying to improve this team for this year, you make this move way back when Cooks gets hurt, really. That's when you make the move. That's how I say it, Special K. Bet. In Rush we trust. I'm hoping, man. At least today. Or Sunday. Like I said, do I expect them to win this game? I don't expect them to win this game. Do I expect them to go on some run? This is a bad football team with injuries and coaching and whatnot. But the Eagles, I don't. First of all, I don't get rooting against. I get it, Tank. That's fair. I refuse. I refuse to wake up on a Sunday and say some like, "Let's go Eagles." Y'all crazy as hell. Can we all rally for this week at least, man? Just this week. We got Washington, no, Houston next. They got rally against them. I don't like it, but just can we all rally for this week against the Eagles? Like I don't want to lose to them. Start trade if you want to tank. Start rush if you think there's a chance. Yep, that's the consensus thought, right? Like if this is just it's over. You throw rush out there. If you think, which I don't think, or you throw Trey out there. I'm sorry. If you think there's a way to salvage the season, you throw Rush out there. I don't think there is. Regardless, this team is not good enough to make the playoffs with Cooper Rush or Trey Lance. But if they think that, let me say that, if they truly believe, hey man, we got a chance, they're going to roll Cooper Rush out there. Point blank period. They're going to roll him out there. I just hope they do a combination of both, because I feel like you have to put this in your playbook now. Hey, Big A. I'm not saying you gotta have confidence. I'm just saying I need all of us to put our hands on each other's shoulder. You know, white folk will just rock. We ain't gonna do the swag surf. We ain't gonna do that for you. We just gonna rock. Come together and just pray that this team, you beat this team. That's all I'm saying. I just can't let those words come out of my mouth. I just can't, even in my soul, I can't be like, deep down inside, I hope we lose to the Eagles. Nah, dog. No way, no how. No way, no how. Jeff said these injuries feel like Jerry tanking for a pick. I mean, why the injuries feel like Jerry? Can't control the injuries, big dog. Like, you got hurt. But Jerry definitely set this thing up for failure. Like when in the offseason, when fans were saying, and I don't usually get into this type of conversation, but I get it. Oh, he's setting up Dak for failure. Why is it just Dak? He's setting up the whole damn organization for failure. He's setting up the whole organization for failure, and let's see what's happening. You said it's good to see that the organization got some fight. That's not what I'm saying. But this week we got to have some fight. This week. Nah, Toxic didn't Toxic call in 2 days ago or yesterday? Toxic guy. He good to go. Yeah, I hate Philly fans too, dog. Like, I would love, can you imagine Cooper Rush beats Philly? I'm hanging that over their heads. I don't care. You can say, it's just Super Bowl, Sky. Yep. I'm not stupid, man. I know what this season is about to be. Like, I get it. But y'all better not let us beat y'all with Cooper Rush. Yeah. Y'all better not let us beat y'all with Cooper. I got some fam up home. They gonna be like, man, you ain't texting me all year. I'm texting you now. You better not let us beat you with Coop. Hey, said, I hate them Eagles. I definitely want to win, but Mike just took my spirit away, Scott. I feel you, big dog. I feel you. It's tough, man. It's a tough year, man. It's tough. Sir, say you're damn right. I'm just saying, don't let it happen. I don't troll on Twitter. I even had to, who was it? Lord Brunson, you know, they go through all the trolling, man. He tried to I actually tried to engage in some conversation, and Lord hit me with like a troll. I said, first of all, LB, You got the wrong one, bruh. I don't do all this here on Twitter. You want to talk ball? LB, my bad. Yeah. So we talk ball, but I don't do the trolling. But if we beat you with Cooper Rush, rush hour, big time rush. Yeah, all right. First person to made up is LB. Hey, salute to you, LB, dog. I just having some fun, man. Jackie, you know I don't like the mess, but I need something. Right, so look, check this out. What I wanted to do weeks ago to inject some life into this team, into the season, and some hope was fire. I told you, fire the Mikes, fire Mike McCarthy at the very least, and that would have given me some excitement to moving on for the rest of the season. There's nothing exciting about you losing your franchise quarterback. But as a fan, right, I'm trying to recalibrate how I'm looking at the season. So now it's like, all right, I know we ain't finna do X, Y, Z, but now there is the unknown that is, I don't want to use the term exciting, but it's interesting. Now there's the unknown. And I'm intrigued. Let me just say that. I'm not excited. I'm intrigued. Oh, come on, Silos. Do I still got I don't got my button, but yeah. Let Cooper Rush win. Oh, what a rush. If Cooper Rush win, this is gonna be the intro song. Hold on. Yeah. Shit. Yeah, all right. Y'all let my guy Coop get in there and get the dub. I'm acting a whole fool. We coming in like this. Check it out. We coming in like this, y'all.
What a rush!
Don't play with me. Let's go. All right, I'm hyping myself up. Let me calm down. See, I got a problem. I have a Cowboy toxic relationship problem because I know what this season is, but as soon as they kick that ball off, you're going to think we rolled out there with the 1992 squad because it's 0-0 and the play hasn't happened yet. But soon as this mother... Saquon Barkley do some Power Ranger ass Spinner Rooney, Booker T, Frog Splash. All right, let me sit my ass back. Waiter, can I get a drink? I got a problem, man. I got a problem. Oh, I got a problem. When I look the Detroit Lions game, I really tried it, man. I tried hyping us up. I tried it. Some boys went down there. Bink, 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 bink. Touchdown. All right, let me sit my ass right back now. Let me go ahead and get ready for halftime. Oh, man. Am I the only one? You know what I'm saying? Am I the only one like this? Somebody said he farted on them boys' heads. Yo, you wild. Robert said I'm the same way. Man. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm sorry I can't give you this like hyped up breakdown this week. It's tough. It's tough. We're playing the Panthers, maybe. They're playing the Giants, maybe. But all I got for you is win one for the Gipper this week, just this week. San Fran, too. See, and the San Fran one was so, what's crazy about the San Fran one? Like Detroit, you knew you was about to get your ass whooped by Detroit. San Fran, though, they was without all their players and, they weren't playing well. I know you was down a lot of players too. But there was a little bit more belief in San Fran. That Detroit game, boy, nah, I ain't really believe it. The San Fran game, yeah, for sure. You turned it off at halftime. That Detroit game, that was embarrassing, man. That was embarrassing. I sat down and said, you know what? I ain't even gonna order a drink. I'm just gonna go ahead, hit the app, hit that Specs app. Let me get my favorite drink delivered to me. Specs is your one-stop destination for unbeatable selections of beer, wine, liquor, and finer foods. Whether you're planning a party or just looking for the perfect bottle, Specs has got you covered. What a year, by the way, to have the wonderful Specs as a partnership. Because these Cowboys are driving you to drink a whole lot, man. Driving you to drink a whole lot. They're here to make your game days easier. They got the same day delivery or curbside pickup. Like I said, download the app and easily place an order at any one of your local Specs. I know Specs is just smiling right now with Cowboy fans. Hey, usually I would tease the underdog fantasy pick 'em for the game, but they don't really have a lot of the statistics up. So I say, you know what? We're going to throw a curveball, man. We're going to throw a curveball. It's Thursday night football, and this may be the best Thursday night football game of the season. Granted, the Bengals versus the Ravens. I know the Bengals are 4-5, so record-wise, it's not a great record. But Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson, it's an AFC North rivalry. So I said, let's take a look at the game tonight. And I saw Joe Burrow's higher or lower statistic, and I said, ooh, I'm hitting the higher on this one, man. Joe Burrow, 271.5 passing yards tonight. Higher or lower? I forgot. Higher. This Ravens defense isn't the same Ravens defense, number one. Teams have been able to throw the ball all over the field on them. But you also have to add in the fact, this Cincinnati defense ain't the same defense. So the Ravens are likely going to score a lot of points, or they're going to move the ball up and down the field. They're going to force, what I'm getting at here, Joe Burrow to throw the ball a whole lot. So I'm smashing that higher here. 271.5 yards. Yeah, give me that. Give me that all day. Give me that all day. Join the millions and millions of fans who have made game days more entertaining by playing along on Underdog Fantasy Sports. You can sign up with the promo code. It's right there on the screen, ATOZ Dallas, and get a deposit match up to $1,000, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not signed up on Underdog Fantasy, I'm dead serious. Use our code, man. Put $50 in there, you'll have $100 to play with. Put $100 in, you got $200. If you really trying to get freaky, drop $500 in there, you get $1,000. I don't know. I'm just for the D-gens out there. But use our code, man, ATOC Dallas, and they got you covered. That's Underdog Fantasy. Pick them, play them, win them. Shouts out to my guy, Matt Lennox, in the building. He dropped 5. He said,
Super chat.
I'm the same way, bro. It's toxic. Then after the first opponent touchdown in like 5 plays, reality sets in. Yeah. Like, I'm not delusional. When I'm out and about and you hear people talking about delusional Cowboy fans, I definitely don't classify in one of them. You can put me in diehard, but you ain't gonna put me in delusional. Okay? There are lots of delusional Cowboy fans, both good and bad. But when the kickoff in the 0-0, ain't nothing happened yet. I don't care if we was down to Ryan Leaf at quarterback, man. I remember them days. I was just as crazy when that kickoff happened then. The Stephen McGee days. Kitna and them boys, yeah. Which, as I close out here, boy, with these injuries, with Dak, and you know, Tony and Dak already had a similar arc. Now it's just getting even more similar. It's scary. And I think it was Toxic who said this. You know, we're heading towards the 2010s. Lord, I hope not. But after Tony got paid, he got hurt in 2008. You remember that? The pinky and all that stuff, missed the games, and the Cowboys missed the playoffs. Same thing's about to happen here. And then we went into that abyss in the 2010s. Porous offensive line, porous talent. It's bad. I hope we're not going that route, but it's scary how similar their two arcs are, man. Scary. All right. We're going to wrap that up, man. I told y'all this was going to be straightforward. Hit that like button on your way out, please, if you enjoyed the show. And go ahead and share this thing. When I say this, again, it's not to not get your money, big networks. Get if you prefer the big networks, that's fine. But when I say if you want legitimate breakdowns and opinions and takes and analysis on your team, I beg of you, stop watching those big networks. It's because of the things that happened the other day, right? Which you got a former Mike McCarthy player doing everything in his damnness to protect his guy to the point of assuming that somebody quit on their team and is faking an injury. It's despicable. It's wild, man. You know, so don't give those type of shows life if you're looking for legitimate coverage, and that's the main reason why. And then they doubled down on it, which was crazy. But anyway, if you got a Cowboy friend or family member that is looking for this type of coverage, share this with them. Please do. Please do. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this one more time, just to make sure I didn't miss anybody super duper. Y'all remember what was the super duper Cooper Troopers? Hey, we need all y'all out this week. We need all y'all out this week. I think we good to go. All right. I'm going to press this button then.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Yeah, he thought he had something. You know, it was one of those things where they was hyping him up. And look, we all been there. If you think you got something and your boys is hyping you up and you like, yeah, you go back and you're like, whoa, what was I doing? See, they let that damn TV get to their heads, man. They let them get to their heads. All right, we out here. Love y'all. Peace. Yeah, C-Los. You can knock his play. You can criticize him as a player, but that quit faking? That's just goofy, man.
Bomb Squad!